Love it. Love it. Boss face, over to you, my friend.
Yes, Sirski. What's good, man? This is true pleasure right now. Um, First off, man, I got a couple things real quick for Mr. Charles, my brother, the uncle of the space, all those sorts of things. Definitely love to talk about the midnight and everything, man. But I follow you, man, so I hear that stuff a lot. And I just want to know, man, how are you, Mr. Charles? How are you personally? How you feeling, man? You feeling good? You've been doing the ice baths and all sorts of things, man. How are you feeling, sir?
Well, I feel great, and thanks for asking, man. I really appreciate that. I've been trying to zen out as much as possible. You gotta meditate every day. I got this cool new thing. It's called a neural visor. It basically uses light to knock you into a psychedelic trip, so you can microdose with it every day, and
Wow.
you get to do some crazy shit there. Uh, you know, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, and now everybody interested. But no, I always experiment with these newfangled brain computer interfaces and performance enhancement. Yeah, I was just talking to Peter Thiel's people the other day, and they want me to invest in the enhanced Olympics. So that's interesting. It's like
Whoa.
Olympics, but they allow you to dope. So it's like they don't drug test. It's a free for all. And I'm like, man, that is the best and
Oh,
worst
that's
idea I've ever heard in my life.
all
That's a
in one,
crazy.
balling all in one.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Exactly.
and they're like, "Do you want to invest?" And I was like, "Man, this is either going to be the most fun or the worst idea. There's no fucking middle ground with that one." So I'm fun, still doing the cold plunges. That's pretty cool. I got a venture that's doing bioluminescent plants, and so we got glow in the dark plants. So that you just put them in your desk, and it's like having a light bulb on. And so one of the
Oh,
things we've been trying
cool.
to do is figure out how to license that technology so we can have glow in the dark weed. That's going to be cool, and it'll glow
Ah, that's
different
gonna be
colors based
cool
on
as
the THC
shit.
content.
Some real Area 51 type shit going on right there.
Well,
The
it's
glow in
good
the
for the
dark.
growers, though, man.
Man,
Because
put me on the list, man. I need a dose,
yeah, everybody does it,
man.
but it's good for the growers because you can make it glow different colors based on the THC content. So if it glows like green, it's light, and then if it glows red, then it's like really, really, highly saturated pot. So there's some practical applications. They're called sentinel plants. So we're doing that. We just got our first plants to glow in the lab, and we'll be able to broadcast that in a little bit. So a lot of shit's going on under the hood. I got my anti-aging clinic up in Gillette. We got 6,500 patients and a lot of primary care doctors, and we're going to start our first clinical trial to combine hyperbarics and stem cells together. And we think we can turn back aging 5 years to 10 years and also heal like traumatic brain injuries and joint injuries and all kinds of things. So we'll have some announcements there in a little bit. But that clinic is growing by leaps and bounds. It's about 10,000 square feet right now. It'll be about 40,000. The bison are doing well. They haven't killed me yet. We're just about bringing down some wood bison, and with any luck, we could start
Oh,
a
man.
de-extinction program next year using the wood bison to bring back the Latifron bison, which is an ancient bison that roamed Earth
Ancient
11,000
bison.
years ago.
Oh, wow.
Okay, well, I got a quick one for Charles. Since you're growing space weed, basically, is cannabis bad for you, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, that's like kind of asking, is red meat bad for you, or are mushrooms bad for you? Any substance in moderation or excess can actually have really bad effects, or can be beneficial. Like a great example is turmeric. A lot of people take it. It has great anti-inflammatory properties. If you take too much of it, it starts burning your liver out. So I've seen a lot of reports for CBD and cannabis where they seem to have some very positive effects. In some cases, even promote neurogenesis. I've also seen that if you smoke weed every day and you get too much of it, it seems to actually have terrible impacts on your short-term memory, and can cause a lot of downstream health effects. But the problem is that it's a politicized substance. And I think it's very unfortunate with the modern American medical system where we arbitrarily label one substance bad or another substance good. And then all of a sudden, the only research you're allowed to do is within those boxes. So, a great example would be psychedelic mushrooms. There's overwhelming evidence that they're useful for the treatment of depression, end of life issues, and PTSD. Yet, technically speaking, it's as bad for you as rat poison You know, actually, rat poison's a prescription drug. We use it, for blood clots. So apparently, that's better for you than psychedelic mushrooms can be, even though it can be transformative. So the American drug industry, it's all about who makes money. It's not about what's best for the patient. And it's just the truth, and we all know it. And anybody tells you otherwise, just a bought and hatched shill. I'm not a big proponent of people smoking large quantities of weed, because one thing I do know for a fact is it destroys your productivity and your motivation. It's real. Have you ever met a David Goggins pothead? Have you ever met some dude who's just like getting 5,000 things done, but also just smokes a shit ton of weed? It's like you just don't. The only person I've ever met in my life who smokes a lot of weed and actually gets a lot of shit done is Snoop Dogg. That guy, I don't know how he does it. I think he's just naturally so high energy that he has to smoke the weed, just because he'd be completely impossible to deal with. And he's at 150, so he's got to slow it down to 100. So he smokes the weed to do that. But generally speaking, most potheads I know, they just never accomplished anything in life. So that's kind of my umbrage. You got to remember, I went to CU Boulder, and I'm like, CU Boulder, it's like 420 is a holiday there. It's a very, very pot-friendly campus. And Boulder has always been known that way. It's kind of the same as Berkeley. So that's my view on it. I don't have any strong opinion one way or the other. And it is fun, to bring people in through different angles. And so if I sit and say, hey guys, we're going to go do this super cool, awesome, super duper supply chain DAP, and you're like, okay, yeah, cool, whatever. I come in and say, guys, we're going to do glow in the dark pot, and it's all going to be on the Cardano blockchain. You're like, holy shit, fucking yeah. Tell me more about that, man. They're both important because it's a genetically modified organism. You need to track where it's at. And it's also a highly regulated product. You need to track where it's at. But they just have kind of a different approach, and it brings a different demographic in. And you need a diverse ecosystem for an ecosystem to succeed.
Okay, awesome, man. I completely agree. Honestly, I think just within reason, it's pretty healthy. It kind of helps you chill out here and there. But does Charles Hoskinson smoke weed very often? How often is too much, I guess, do you think, for you?
I don't. Not at all. Not even a little. I don't even drink. My vices are food.